So growing up on a farm, it was a different childhood. I well remember there was a lamb born and the mother didn't make it. And I took it under my wing and cared for it for quite a few weeks before we put it back out to pasture. That animal needed me for those few weeks, and there was nothing else in its life but me to keep it going. It's one of life's early learned lessons that we all need to learn is the care for others. It was an industry that was led by quality, and we quickly learned that if we're able to raise bulls and keep them under control up to an age of 13 to 15 months, that was where the best value was in the animal. For me, it was a great life until one day we had the fire, and it completely changed the course of my life. In August 1981, we were just across the valley and we noticed that there was smoke coming from one of the buildings. And I well remember it was a very hot, windy day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I said to my father at the time, I said, "Hey, that building's on fire." So we grabbed a vehicle, the nearest one that we could find, and we scooted around the road. And I was thinking to myself, we're not going to get there on time. We're just not going to get there. There was animals in that shed. The straw was burning that they were on. But we pushed the gates over and they went off into the pasture. My uncle had already called the fire brigade when we got there. So we quickly worked to try and get things under control. Unfortunately, it spread to another building where there was more animals in. The fire went through all through the night to the following day. I can remember thinking this was too much for me. I wasn't comfortable seeing what we had put so much store in just disappear in front of us. My auntie obviously saw I was struggling. I was only 11. She said, "You need a break. You need to come with me." And I can remember turning around and seeing the expression on my father's face. It really hit me. He was feeling the exact same way. But for him, there was no break. He couldn't get out of it. He was responsible. But for me, it taught me something, that there's never a circumstance that's too great. You need someone to come along and care for you. You need someone to come and help you. And that's what my auntie did for me at that point. She took me from the circumstance for a few hours, gave me a break. The fire department was really struggling to get things under control. Mr. Richard Nash, he was the neighboring farmer, and he said, "Hey, you can pump the water from the lagoon. I'll turn on the pumps and you can use that water." And then the farmers just flooded in. The local people came in. It was a truly inspiring time for me as an 11-year-old person to see the help that was poured in on such a disastrous event, a community that came in to help us. So life after the fire was very challenging. Struggled financially as a family. My parents weren't able to provide everything that was needed. So at a very early age, at 13, I think I woke up one morning and I had to do something to make the difference, to ease the burden. We went out and bought a lawnmower and literally went around the town looking for lawn jobs. It wasn't long before I actually started employing my father. The last year at school, I only did a couple of days a week at school and the rest was out building the business. We kept that going until we emigrated to North America in 2004. There was a family friend with a business that was struggling and he needed help and support. So we decided to move over with our family. And so we worked with commercial vehicle outfitting, HVACs, plumbers of the world. Through that journey, we were getting asked if we worked with wheelchair accessible vehicles. It took me back to the days when we were in England with my sister-in-law. She was in a wheelchair all her life, and I saw her parents struggling with getting her in and out of a vehicle. And there was a time when they used to lift her out of the chair and put her in. They knocked her around pretty good. I can well remember saying there has to be a better way. I kept coming back to that time when the calls that we were getting for wheelchair accessible vehicles, and I spoke to one of the employees and I said, "We're doing this. We're just going to make this happen." And I can well remember building our first minivan. I can remember seeing the family driving away and thinking, we just helped someone. And it was a moving moment for me. The smile on those persons' faces, they drove off with their child in the car, safe, compliant vehicle. For me, it ticked the box. I have a passion for anyone who's got a disability that can't move around, can't have their freedom. We want to bring those persons' freedom back in the product that we put together. I feel that I'll never be able to repay the community after the event we went through in 1981 and the fire. But if I can live a life of helping people, then I'll consider that a life well lived.